And
Oh, I
we were
love
live.
that countdown thing. This is some fun new software we got going on here, guys. This is interesting.
First class.
Only the best when we have Geno on, and we want to just make sure. So, hey, what's going on, everybody? We're here for the 2-year anniversary of the Beauty Business Reset. Technically, episode 119, and we have our beloved, my best friend, by the way. He's blurring out the background because he's got so many. See those little things? There's so many little pictures in the up there that I keep sending in the mail. But we have our good friend Geno Stampora with us. We have my good friend, and some of you, our Jersey friends, will know Josh from the artist formerly known as a lot of company names over the 70 years, Josh. But
yeah, we're working on number 3.
Currently, Ethos Beauty, doing a fantastic job. Brought on a bunch of really cool lines, and we're going to all be together this weekend in Atlantic City. So hopefully the casino gods are with us when we go in there in the Hard Rock Cafe or the Hard Rock Hotel. But Josh, why don't you just give a quick plug for, one of your family revered friends, Geno, and about his importance to this event? Because if we had your father on here, we would know how many times he was on stage. We would know everything. So, you have to take the reins.
Yeah, well, I'll give a shout out to all of you guys. 119 episodes. I mean, the stamina and fortitude which you possess is really unmatched in the industry. And 2 years is impressive. It was about 2 years ago we tried to have this very show that Geno will be at in a week. So the third time's charm, thanks to COVID. But I would say in our company's history and my family's history, there hasn't been a memorable show that Geno Stampora hasn't been on the stage at. And so I probably don't need to give anyone an intro. I'm sure everybody knows you, Geno, but when I think of all the great people in the industry and what makes our industry really special, you're certainly on the top of that list. And you mean a lot to me personally, to our industry and all my companies and our families. So can't wait to see you in a week and give a big hug.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josh, the feeling is mutual, and I'm so looking forward to the Art of Business. And I can't believe it's at the Hard Rock. I mean, you can't beat Atlantic City. You can't beat the Hard Rock. You can't beat the venue. I know we've got 800 or so people coming, so that's pretty exciting, to have a group like that. And I'll tell you what, Josh, you come from a long line. I mean, I've known you and your family pretty much close to your whole life, and I say to people all the time, no one puts on an event like the Hayfitz family. They just you're one of us, and you get it, and you know how to do it. So I'm real excited about being there, and I'm looking forward to it. And it looks like the lineup is so impressive that I had to rework my stuff to make sure that I'm really on top of it, and doing some first class new information.
Yeah, I like that. We got you a little nervous. That's good.
You bet, baby. That. You bet. That's one of the things I always used to do, by the way, for everyone out there, those of you that are salon owners. Whenever I noticed my staff getting kind of lazy, kind of weak, I would always bring on a new hair cutter and watch everybody watch that hair cutter, and all of a sudden fine tune and clean their lines and make everything happen. So this silence, I'm not good with silence. Is this my floor now?
Listen, I want to thank Josh for popping on. Like I said, I know he had some stuff to do, but he wanted to make sure that he saw your smiling face before he sees your slurring. He wants to hear the good speech before he gets the slurring on Sunday night.
Yeah, Josh.
Usually,
Josh, just let us know what time to be down there Sunday, because my wife and I are going to take a quick ride down. We can't stay all day, but definitely got to come see my friends. So.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And Geno, I was surprised you paused. Usually we just wind you up and then you just go. I've never seen you actually stop in the middle. That was amazing.
This is only his first bourbon.
I wasn't sure if it was my turn or not, and I hate to be obsessive compulsive.
Oh, we know you hate to be obsessive compulsive.
Absolutely.
Of course you do.
Josh, you are the man. Thank you, and as always,
thank you, Josh.
Thank you for having me, and
thank you guys.
A great event.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Josh, this weekend.
Yeah, have a great one, Josh. Make it rock.
Likewise,
Thanks.
guys. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, so Geno, the floor is yours, my friend. So
yes, sir.
As you know, we've talked a lot about back to basics, and I mean, listen, Beauty Business Reset was about resetting in general, and listen, we're we're seeing the growth and we're seeing all the things that have changed with salons, and especially within our group. I mean, you see some of the comments and the questions that come in. What a bunch of rock stars, right? They just have really good things, and what a solid foundation. And there's such a camaraderie, and that's always good to have you to kind of be the glue to glue everybody back together, for sure.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, James, it's not only always a pleasure to be here. It's especially an honor to be here tonight. Derek never got back to me, but I did send Derek an email saying, you know, it's your 2-year anniversary, and how cool that you've got like the greatest educator of all time in the beauty industry to be on I'm waiting for this great reply.
And you know that one went to my spam.
I'm like, shit, he hasn't even gotten, he probably looked at it and thought, oh, that idiot, you know, what the hell is but you know what, you guys, how cool. Not only has it been 2 years, like you said, 119 episodes, but I'll tell you, you probably came at the greatest time you possibly could come onto the scene for beauty professionals, because these 2 years really have been not just difficult, but scary. And it was kind of cool to get on every week, all of us together, and just kind of hold each other's hand and look at where we are and where we're going and what we're going to do. And I think all the time about the knowledge I've gained from BBR. I wish I still had my salons and schools. I mean, not that I didn't do great. I really did, but I really think a lot of it was simply because I'm a nice guy and I was very lucky. I was at the right place at the right time. So many times I thought, let me sell these places before I end up at the wrong place at the wrong time. And who the hell knows what happens after that. But your contribution, all of you, and your resilience and your ability to relate to your members and really bring them quality information, I'm sure not only saved a lot of them, but really got a lot of members to a whole new level, even through COVID. And that's like the coolest thing in the world, you know? I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that. So I did have just a little whiskey to say congratulations on your 2-year anniversary. And it is not only an honor to be here, but
I have to say along those lines,
yes.
The BBR was created so that we could do that at least one time. And I've heard people come to us, not just myself, because the BBR isn't about us. It's about all the people we've had on here who contribute, right? And we had so many people come up to us and say, thank God you were there. Thank God BBR was there with all the coaches, because just like you said, it saved me. It saved my business. It got me through COVID. It did this, it did that. And you know what? That's all it was meant to be, is to get there and give something back to the industry.
Well, and you did it gracefully and carefully and honestly. And many of the presenters did the same thing. And I think there was so much just incredible knowledge that was shared, a great opportunity for everyone. And I'll tell you, I think as everything matures, as BBR matures, and we look at what is it that the industry is looking for, I have no doubt in my mind that this will become the prominent place to go to learn not only the best practices, how to do what's right, but also what's coming down the pike, you know, what's new. And, you know, I think that that's just incredibly exciting. I want to say a couple things before I get into my role, because I'll forget. I want to just remind everyone the importance of being involved with the Professional Beauty Association. If you're not a member, please become one. It's reasonably inexpensive, and the information you get makes it so costly. It's wonderful. By the way, this next weekend, while I'm at Atlantic City at the Art of Business, which, by the way, I have a feeling I might be the first presenter at the Art of Business to receive the Art of Business Award twice. I did already get it once, and they haven't told me yet, but I have a feeling I might be the guy this weekend that gets it again. So I hope you'll be there to join with me. And I'm waiting to see a message from Josh like, shut the hell up. You're not getting it, but I guess he really is gone. So This weekend, don't forget, is North American Hairstyling Awards. You can stream it. It's too bad you can't be there because it's going to be incredible. This weekend is also the Beacon program, which, by the way, I've been the facilitator for 26 years. This is the first year ever that I'll be missing it because of COVID and changing schedules and stuff. However, I've sent the best. The facilitators will be Iva Sampler and Nikki Lee, and they're going to be wonderful. So if you get a chance, check out Beacon. We have an opportunity to work with 300 or 400 of the greatest, most intelligent students in the universe, and it happens pretty much every year. Also, Iva, Nikki, and I have started working on the new Mentor and Masters program, which will take place in November, on November 6th and 7th. And this event it's priceless. It's incredible. And this year we're going to do some breakouts. We're probably going to have Chris Salome and John Palmieri from Shop Talk, the podcast. They're probably going to do a couple of breakouts, and I'm trying to enlist James and Derek to maybe do a breakout, and probably I'll do one and Nikki will do one, and then we'll also have the main stage. But this program's open to everyone. It is, I mean, a phenomenal, covers it all program. So if you have an opportunity, jot down those dates now, November 6th and 7th, before you get busy and you get confused. So here we are. I don't know about you, but last week it was heading for summer, and the day before yesterday, winter kind of blew back into Northern Virginia. We've had snow. I did just contact our news channel to let them know that my cherry trees still have the blooms, just in case there's no longer blooms in Washington because of the cold and the wind. If they want to come out to Percival, right out in front of my house, my cherry trees are still blooming. All of a sudden it's winter. It was like 20 degrees last night, and here we are right back in it. But the good thing is, it's an interesting time. We are, I don't want to say post-COVID, but we are moving beyond it, and people are learning how to navigate it and how to deal with it. So now we're left with, first of all, how do we get back to like what Derek talked about, getting back to basics? How do we get back to the basics? I mean, I've done a lot of coaching and a lot of Zooms and millions of shows and millions of salons. But you know what? I've always had a very simple, innate understanding of the beauty industry. And as a salon owner, I feel like I was always a great salon owner because I maintained respect. I gave oil to the best performers instead of the worst. And I would always take good care of my people and make it fun. And I think a lot of people, there's so much information out there today, and it's so easy to get lost, and it's so easy to get caught up. And everybody's looking for the quick fix or the big fix, or who do I listen to, or who do I follow? I think one of the things you have to be careful of as an artist is we have a way of making things hard instead of making things easy. We have a way of looking for the hard stuff instead of looking for the easy stuff. So if everybody just takes a step back, it's a good time to take a couple of deep breaths and then say, am I performing to my utmost level? Am I giving my 100% every time, all the time, to every client that comes in the salon? And I know some of you will be at the Art of Business. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to reiterate a story that I'm actually going to share there because when I keynote, this is going to be my opener. I used to teach a program years back. Delicious, medicinal. I used to teach a program years back with two of my best friends, Scott Masad and Frank Gambuza. We did a program called Strictly Business, and it was wonderful. Not only was it fun, but one of the things I tell my buddy Scott all the time is whenever I work with him, I actually learn as much as I give. I mean, he's such a great teacher and such a great mentor. And I'll get back to Scott in a minute, but Frank and I got there early. It was a Saturday afternoon, like we all do. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, oh, dear God, Frank, I need a haircut before the program starts on Sunday. He said, well, I don't have any tools. He said, I can't do anything for you. I said, come on, you can. You can cut my hair. We'll go find a salon. And he said, where? We're in Michigan. I said, Frank, if we visit 3 salons, I promise you one of them will know me. And when they know me, we'll come in, we'll borrow some shears, and you can cut my hair. So we actually found a salon that knew me, and we went in and we were treated like celebrities. It was wonderful. And I said, Frank, give me a haircut. Now, I have to tell you, as much as I love the beauty industry, I really don't love getting services. I don't like getting my hair cut. I don't like being back in the shampoo bowl. I hate getting sprayed. I don't like when somebody combs through my hair really hard. I'm just not good at it. So I like to get in, get a 10-minute haircut, and be done. So I said to Frank, look, all I want's a 10-minute trim. Get me out of here. So we go into the salon. He borrows some shears. He borrows a cape, a brush, a comb, everything he needs. And I said, Frank, just wet it down. And I just shampooed it this morning. He goes, no. I only know one way. Now, some of you know Frank Gambuza. And if you know Frank, you'll sort of know what I'm talking about. But also, if you've met Frank, you'll never forget him. He's one of those guys. So he said, no, I have to shampoo you. So I said, oh, Lord, okay. So I go over. And before he gives me the shampoo, he puts the cape on. Well, before he put the cape on, he shook the cape like an old Italian barber and snapped it. And when he snapped the cape, everybody looked over. And he said, you see, when I snap the cape, I draw attention. And everybody looks over. He puts the cape on me, puts the towel on me. He says, you won't have one hair down your neck when I get done. Fixes the cape. I lay back. He's giving me a shampoo. I said, Frank, no conditioner. Don't shampoo me twice. Get me the hell out of here. I got 2 shampoos. I got a conditioner. I got well rinsed. He brings me over to the chair. He starts to comb me out. I said, Frank, just give me a trim. He goes, listen, I only know one way. And that's the way we're going to do this. So he combed me out and he began cutting and cutting and cutting. When he got through, I said, my Lord, thank you so much. This is wonderful. He said, no, I have to blow it dry. That's how I check my haircut. I said, Frank, he goes, Geno, I only know one way. He blew me dry. He checked the whole haircut. My hair looked beautiful. He slowly took the cape off, snapped it again to draw attention to the look that was now done. Took the towel, wiped off my neck. I did not have one hair on me. He cleaned the shears, he cleaned the brush, and then he swept up all the hair. And he said, this is the way you do it. And I thought to myself, wow, I think we all only know one way. But I think some of us, we give up that one way on a busy Saturday or on a tired Tuesday afternoon, or when you have a headache, or when you're having bad times at home. And all of a sudden you take everything you already knew and you forget, and you go about it in a way that actually costs you money, in a way that costs you self-worth and self-esteem, and puts you actually in an improper attitude status, because all of a sudden you're thinking, I could have done more and I should have done more and I didn't do more. Now, stay with me. So I had an opportunity to work the week before last in Michigan at an actual show in a beautiful salon with my friend Scott Massad, who I always learn something from. And Scott shared with me, if any of you follow me, you saw it on LinkedIn, he shared with me a billboard that said, whatever you do today, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman t-shirt. I've had such a response, but it really made me think about how much I've read over the last 2 years and how much I've studied over the last 2 years to be prepared for now, post this horrible pandemic. And I thought to myself, when I was a kid, nothing would stop me. When I was a kid, I thought I was smart. When I was a kid, I thought I could do anything. Do you know that most of us, if not all of us, thought more of ourselves at 4 than we did at 20? Do you know why? It's because we develop the listening power to hear what other people say, and then we buy into it. So when I talk all the time about inspiration and motivation and, oh my God, be happy, the main reason I talk about it is, listen, soon you're going to be dead. We're all dying. And some people they get caught up in the today. And you know what? You got to make today work. You got to make today matter. You got to make today do well. I mean, when I was in the salon, I wasn't a money monger, but I wasn't there to have fun. I was there to make money and to sell stuff and to have a good time and to develop great relationships and to have great clients, but to feel good at the end of the day and have a pocket full of tips and know that tomorrow is going to be another great day. But I have to share with you, the greatest thing you can do is rediscover your belief system and challenge it. Why can't you have the power and the knowledge and the confidence that you did when you were 4 years old? You're way smarter than that now. I mean, I think sometimes it's important to take a step back. And when you talk about the basics as a human being, to just stop and say to yourself, what could you be if you became aware of your complete potential? What could you be if you really tried? I mean, you and I are part of the greatest industry in all the world. I know that in my heart of hearts. I have to tell you, today, I got 5 incredible texts and emails from friends saying, I can't wait until tonight. My friend Sally sent me a text a mile long saying, you're the best thing for the 2-year anniversary. I'm going to be there. I can't wait to hear you. And I thought, wow, how cool is this? You know, it makes you want to read another book, makes you want to look over your notes and say, I better be great. Marcus sent me an email and said, I'll be on early. And I'm never on early, but I don't want to miss a word that you have to say. And I'm like, Lord, how lucky am I? You know, sometimes we just forget how lucky we are. We're talking about going to the show next week in Atlantic City. Of course, I'm an avid gambler and I love to gamble. But one of the things I tell people all the time is I never gamble thinking I'm going to lose. I never gamble when I'm not dressed up for the slot machine. I never gamble when I don't feel as though I'm lucky and I'm going to win. You know, there's a saying in gambling that says you stack the deck in your favor. If we're honest, if we're sincere, if you'll give me an opportunity to move you, like the Batman t-shirt could move you when you were 4 years old, if you'll give me permission to share with you, I can tell you that there are ways you can stack the deck of beauty in your favor. There's ways you can stack the deck of life in your favor. And that's what you need to do, because this is your life and your life is flying by. So if you, first of all, take a step back and personally go back to your basics. Who are you? What's missing in your world? What do you need to be all you want to be? And the most important thing, and it's something I think all of us learned through COVID, and that was this. How much do you need to really be happy? And how much does it take? I mean, I don't want to get into it at all, but look at the world events today. And then stop for a minute and realize how wonderful is it to be able to walk outside and not worry about a bomb, to walk outside and not worry about being shot by a sniper. I mean, can you believe that it's 2022 and there's a war in our world, And, you know, I said to one of my friends, I don't think I'll ever see peace in my lifetime. I don't think anyone ever will, because I think that there are derelicts and Hitlers and brutal people out there, and always will be. So there'll always be something that we're up against. But you know what? If you put that in context, in perspective to where you are and who you are and what you do and where you live and what industry you work for, my God, we have the world at our fingertips. We have the opportunity of a lifetime. Now, I want to share with you real quick, in going back to basics on a personal level. I had no formal education in my life. I never did well in school like most beauty people. I never really went to school that much. I had a great opportunity with school where if there was a good movie on and I could tell my mother would let me take the day off and watch the movie with her. So I could take a day or two a month off from school just by looking through the old TV guide and finding a good movie. And I'd rather be with my mother than be in school anyway, because half of them thought they knew everything and I knew they didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? But When I got old enough to understand in my 20s, I realized, I'm not dumb. I could do anything. I need to study. I need to learn. I need to understand what's missing in my world and then fill it. And some of you know, I share with everyone from the stage that the last thing I ask myself every night, which I think is the most important question in the world, is, Geno, what don't you know that if you did know would make a difference in what you're trying to become? So how do we reach a point of happiness, of fulfillment, of understanding that everything we need to be everything we want to be is already inside us? And the key is to bring that out. And that's something we talk about in Mentor and Masters all day long. How do you find the keys that bring those things out of you? The word education is derived from a Latin word called educ. And the word educ means to bring out of. A great coach, a great educator, a great teacher, all they really do is try to enlighten you to bring out of yourself what you need to be all you want to be and what you need to be happy. Now, in beauty, what does that mean? Most of you know I've never been a great hairdresser. I've never said I was. I've never pretended to be. I've never tried to be. I never had to be. I was too busy right from the start. I was so busy making so much money and having so much fun and having so many clients and turning so many people away. I never had to be good. They didn't care. They didn't know. Do you think a client knows a great haircut? You do. I do. They don't. They don't know what a weight line is. They don't know what good color is. They don't. And we fool ourselves sometimes. And here we are in an industry that spends 93% of their dollars on technical skills and 7% on personal skills. And I believe if every one of you take a step back and spend 93% for 1 year on your personal skills, watch what happens to your book, to your income, to your knowledge, to your understanding, to your ability to relate and connect to a client. Watch what happens to the people around you. Watch what happens to your salon. Watch what happens to the stories that people begin to talk about, because it is all about relating, and it is all about connecting, and it is all about building a level of trust. That's what it's all about. So everyone, stop and look at your business and say, wait a minute, let me get back to basics. If you're a salon owner, treat everyone with care and with love and with respect. Hey, Annette Haynes. I see Annette Haynes. That's, well, a former employee partner, and oh my goodness, a darling of a woman, a great hairdresser at that. Taught me some stuff. I used to keep good people around me just in case I screwed up. I could pass them to the chair next to me to get a good job done. So here's what happened to me working and listening to my clients. And I'll share with you Geno's 10 myths of learning. Number one, I always thought my family wasn't smart. So perhaps I wasn't smart. That's not true. You're as smart as you need to be. Do you know that 75% of America has an average IQ? 75%. If you understand the myth of intelligence, every one of you on this message, on this platform, is as smart as every other one of you on this platform. So don't let smart get in the way. See, number two, people think intelligence is fixed inside you, but it's not. You have the ability to learn and to grow. You have the ability to read and to study. You have the ability to push forward. You have the ability to maintain. Next, people say we only use a small percentage of our brain. That's not true. Some people use a lot of their brain. It's not true that we only use 3 or 5 or 8. Everybody has a different percent, but you should learn how to use your whole brain and give yourself permission to be as smart as you are. Next, a lot of people think knowledge is power. Knowledge isn't power. I know a lot of real smart idiots, don't you? I know a lot of real smart people that have nothing and do nothing, don't you? Knowledge in action is power. Knowledge used properly is power. So don't be confused, okay? Next, people think learning is very difficult. I have to tell you, I was just sharing through COVID, I read over 100 books to prepare for the now. I don't know what you did. Through COVID, I read over 100 books. Now, don't get me wrong. Towards the end, I was reading really little tiny 10-page, 15-page books, but I read a book. And that's, nice. Can you see James holding up?
I'm more of a book on tape guy, you know. Like,
So am I. Those are great CDs, best-selling CDs in the beauty industry. Geno Stampora, genostampora.com. I can tell you, James, I have listened to a favorite.
Wait a second. CDs, they still have those? Didn't they come out with records?
They're those little metal discs. They shine, and actually you can play them in a DVD player too. Damn it! I know.
I want the 45s, please.
There you
go. The 78s.
These are signed copies.
Available only on vinyl.
Well, that would be great. That's what people are buying.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Shoot. Here we go. What was I talking about? Oh, I have a cassette. Now, that was a little square thing with tape inside that you could stick inside a machine and you'd hear somebody talk. I have my favorite cassette by Jim Rohn from probably 35 years ago that I still listen to. I still learn from. I'm still moved by it. And I think sometimes people don't realize. Let's just say, for instance, we've got another half hour or so. What if you allowed tonight to be a defining moment for you? A defining moment in your life. A defining moment that at this time, what you need right here can come from right here. And that you would open up your heart and open up your mind and open up your soul and listen like you've never listened before. I'm looking at some of the notes on the side. I've learned how to do this now. And I know that some of you have been to my shows. And one of the things I always talk about at my shows on stage is some of you will hear me long after we're gone. I'll be talking to you in the car, knocking on the window, saying, what are you doing with your life? How's everything going? Well, what if we could make tonight a defining moment for you? An opportunity to fill that gap between where you are and where you could be, to fill that gap between what you know and what you could know. What if you would allow me tonight to create an opportunity for you to fill that gap? Because you deserve that. We all do. We all deserve that. We deserve to live our best life ever. And you have to be careful because shit just gets in the way. Life gets in the way. Stuff gets in the way. Being too busy gets in the way. Being stressed gets in the way. Fear of COVID gets in the way. The opportunity of looking at where life is today gets in the way. Watching the news gets in the way. Turning on your computer or your phone and having 5,000 messages gets in the way. It gets in the way of you seeking true fulfillment, happiness, and success. I mean, I think it is important to stop and ask yourself, how much do you really need? And what would it take for you to be happy? Now, you have to understand, I don't mean happy all the time, every day. I think that's impossible. People say to me sometimes, well, gosh, do you ever get depressed? Of course I do. It's normal to get depressed. Here's what you want to be careful of. Most people, when they get depressed about being depressed. Then they go out and buy a gallon of ice cream. They get the saddest movie they can find. They come home, they watch a sad movie, they eat a gallon of ice cream. Then they get more depressed because now they're fat. They watched a sad movie and they're crying and they can't seem to, one of the things I tell people all the time is, look, you have to understand, when you're in a hole, the best thing you could do is stop digging. When you're in a hole, stop digging. See, some people, when they get in the hole, they just dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. Sometimes you just have to stop digging and say, wait, maybe I chose the wrong path. Maybe I should choose a new road to walk down. Maybe it's time for new friends, new thinking, new ideas, new habits, new knowledge, new books, new CDs, new vinyl, new music. Remember when music would move you to the point of those words meant so much to you? Make that happen again. Maybe relive your youth. Maybe look at the fact that learning is not difficult. It's easy. But you see what happens? We get old enough to where we think we know ourselves. And then we set limits on ourselves. Well, I know me, and I'm not like that. Well, I know me, and I'm not like that. You know what I mean? How do you know you? You think you know you? I've been here for a long time, and I still don't know me. I shock me. Some me's shock me. I have a me that buys clothes the other me's won't wear. I have a closet full of shit that somebody else bought that I just won't put on. I'm telling you, you don't know you. You don't know what you could be and what you could become and what you could do. Somebody made a note. What music genre? All music. All music. From Rachmaninoff to George Harrison. You know, everything. All music is good. All music matters. All music works. Well, some music can make you sad, though. You have to be careful. Yeah. But sometimes sad's not too bad, too, right? You have to understand that genius is not born into anyone. That every one of us have the opportunity to be a genius, especially in what we do. I mean, have you ever thought about embarking upon a mission where you master your craft? I'm a master educator. Even though I never cut hair well, I was a master hairdresser. No one could outsell me. No one could find customers like I could. No one could build a rapport like I could. No one could keep a client like I tried to get rid of some clients that wouldn't leave. Have you ever done that? And I love this. Somebody just put on there, just be kind. Boy, isn't that the truth? I mean, you see, sometimes you have to be careful. As artists, we are quick to judge. We are quick to judge. As artists, sometimes we'll look at the front of the salon and say, oh no, is she for me? She looks like a problem. We have never even met her, and already we're deciding. So you have to be careful not to be too quick to judge. I suffered from not having a formal education or degrees. If that happens to be you, then stop suffering and start learning. Learn what you need to learn and forget about the rest. You know, sometimes all college does is teaches you how to think like all the other people in college. Why can't we be independent thinkers and learners and look at our industry in a whole new way? You follow where I'm coming from, okay? Being swayed by other people's thinking. You know, I often tell the story about my dad used to call me stupid so much, I thought he was right. Until I overcame that and changed my belief system and realized, you know what? I'm only as stupid as I want to be. I can grow beyond that. And then the most important thing, your attitude and your self-esteem really do affect your intelligence level. So when I talk to people sometimes about have a good attitude, the way you have a good attitude all the time is you don't let your attitude be interfered with by what's going on in your life. You don't let your attitude be interfered with by your problems. You don't let your attitude be interfered with by a lack of money or not having things that other people have. You find the attitude that works the best for you, and you build your life around that attitude. And then whenever you see people like people that are nice. People like people that are kind. People like people that are happy. Every one of you have somebody in that break room that when they're back there, you won't go back. Somebody else will start walking back and you'll say, don't go back. She's back there. You're going to get beat up. You're going to come out depressed. You're going to wish you weren't in Jersey. You're going to want to move to another state. And I used to laugh all the time when I did a show in New Hampshire and it was snowing. And some of them would be saying, God, it's so cold. I said, hang on. You're in New Hampshire. Of course it's cold. Do you know what the people are saying in Florida? God, it's hot. It's hot. It's so hot. Why is it so hot? I want to go to New Hampshire. And the people in New Hampshire want to go to Florida. And nobody wants to stay where they are. You know what? Develop an attitude of gratitude. Develop a winning attitude. And don't let people and things and life and COVID and crap get in the way. Now, the basics of beauty. How well do you do what you do? How well do you sell? What are the basics of beauty? First of all, marketing. We are a marketing enterprise, our industry. You have to be marketing 365, 24/7. I market beauty 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One of the things I'm known for is being outstanding representation of the beauty industry. I'm careful wherever I am that I take responsibility for representing my industry with honor. Isn't that what we all should do? Listen, I'm not saying that I don't go to the bar and get sloshed. Of course I do. When I do, I lie and say I'm an electrician or a carpenter or I'm a roofer. I just don't say I'm a hairdresser. Or what I used to say to my staff all the time is, look, if you want to get intoxicated, don't go in your hometown. Go 3 towns away where nobody knows you, and then get intoxicated. You can come back home and you won't worry about having to run into a client or embarrassingly see a client, like the days you run to the store with no makeup on, your hair not done, and there's 2 clients at the store waiting for you, right, that want to see you. So how well do you do what you do? How well do you market? Are you on a marketing campaign all the time with everyone? Simple questions. Do your neighbors know what you do for a living and know how much you love what you do? That's the first step. Does your family know that you rely on them to help you build business? Maybe tonight you write a note to your sisters and cousins and say, you haven't sent me anybody in a year. The hell's the matter with you? You're not going to get anything for Christmas because I got no money because you don't send me anybody. Let them have it. So number 1, marketing. Number 2 is sales. How well do you sell? Let's look at sales, beauty, behind the chair in regard to right now, inflation, the price of gasoline. My God, if alcohol goes up as quick as gasoline, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just can't handle it. But I'll tell you, gasoline has gone up so much. How do you combat that? It's easy. You sell more shampoo. You sell more blow dries. You sell more treatments. You sell more deep conditionings. You see, we can combat inflation by being better at sales in our industry. So what is selling? Selling is nothing more than a transfer of belief and passion. Those of you that know me know how much I love beauty. It's easy for me to sell beauty. And how much I love giving someone the added confidence of knowing they look their best. How easy is it for me to talk about? It's time for you to get a haircut. It's time for you to get a new color. It's time for you to get a deep conditioning treatment. It's easy. It's all right there. Selling is a transfer of belief and passion. So maybe tonight's a great night, a great defining moment to measure your level of passion, your level of expertise, and your level of belief. And what are you going to do to make those things work for you? Now, I know a lot of you are married, so I know a lot of you understand. Everything gets old, doesn't it? Everything gets old if you let it. There's days you drive home, look inside, and you can't wait to see your family. But there's days you drive home, look inside, and say, one more trip around the block. Just one more moment by myself, before I go inside, right? Isn't that pretty much what we do? So work gets old. Life gets old. I used to love, as a salon owner, oh my God, hiring the new employee. There was nothing like a new employee. Everybody loved them. They loved everybody. They loved everything in the salon. They never complained about anything. They couldn't wait to get to work. Oh my God, they were wonderful for about 3 weeks. Then they'd be out back around the cigarette butt. Have you noticed we've got a couple of weirdos working here? Some of those people are bothering me. And the next thing you know, it goes right down the drain. It's gone. So we've got to learn how to be the new employee, the new husband, the new wife, the new partner, the new friend every day. Every day. I've got 5 or 6 best friends. I could have 30, but you can't handle 30. You can't be there for 30, but you can be there for 5 or 6. You can be there every day. You can be there all the time. And that's how you build relationships. You're there for the people you care about. You follow where I'm coming from. And I think it's the same way inside the salon. So when you build a relationship of trust, then you build a relationship where they want to buy from you. And they want to buy your products, and they want to buy your shampoo and your conditioner, and they want to buy the treatments that they need. And then you've overcome inflation. And all of a sudden, becoming a master at what you do Money's not an issue. Job security is not an issue. It's not that I'm the richest guy in the world, but come on. It's okay. It's all good. There's enough. We'll get by. It's all right. You follow. You should be in that same place, that same position. Okay, now, next. Mastering the art of keeping a guest. How many of you, how busy would you be if you had every customer you ever laid your hands on? They're not dying. They're going to the salon around the corner, and they're talking about you. How busy would you be if you had every client you ever laid your hands on? What if you started every relationship with a guest saying, our salon is built on reputation. We believe in lifetime customers and long-term clients. If anything should ever happen here that could prevent you from returning, please be honest enough to tell me before you leave. I can't do anything about what I don't know. And you set the stage for them to understand that you're willing to hear what they have to say, because the biggest lie we hear is a guest saying, thanks a lot, I'll see you again, and they never come back. Oh no, my glass, these glasses are so small. I need a bigger glass. Like Derek's. I need a glass like Derek's. That's what I'm going for. Next time around, a big glass. Oh, yeah.
You need the one that the Dean Martin used to bring on stage.
No doubt about it.
It's like a fishbowl.
Did you hear me, by the way, telling Derek, Dean Martin didn't drink?
See, now I heard the opposite.
No, he didn't drink. It was all an act. It was all an act. He drank iced tea in a whiskey glass, but he didn't drink, and he didn't like drinking, and he didn't like when people got drunk at his house. And if he had a party at his house in Beverly Hills and people got drunk, he would run upstairs in his bedroom and call the police and say, Martin's at it again. Get over there and clear out the house. He'd hang up the phone. The cops would come, clear the house out, and he'd go down and watch TV.
That's a great idea. Will that work on my kids?
Yeah, that's worth writing down. That's a keeper. That's definitely a keeper. So a few things to close with. Could you be Batman? And whatever you do, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman outfit. Could you do that? Okay, something to think about. I'd like you to think about perhaps working more hours. Working less hours sometimes isn't the answer. Working more hours, being more available, being there more for your customer says something significant. So if money's an issue, consider expanding your hours a little bit. We used to open on Sundays and have a champagne haircut. It was $5 more. It paid for a cheap glass of champagne. They would have a glass of champagne and we would cut their hair. Do you know that after a year, Sundays became my busiest day? Just something to think about, okay? The next thing is, how well do you sell you? In other words, one of the things I used to teach all the time was, we have a bad thing about Saturdays. And at the end of the day, we're so tired, so hungry, we'd go to the bar and we'd hate work. And God forbid someone would say to us, oh my goodness, what do you do? And we turn around and go, I'll tell you what I do. I do hair 5 stinking rotten days a week. That's what I do. And we think that that's building business. First of all, not only do you have to have better dialogue than that, you have to understand that one of the hardest things an artist can do is learn how to think before they speak. Can you practice learning how to think before you speak? Be careful what you say. Think about the best possible words in any situation. What's the best way, the absolute best way to address this? What's the best way to address an issue with a guest? What's the best way to handle a guest who's always late, or a guest who becomes a no-show, or a guest who says no all the time, or a guest who challenges you, a guest who intimidates you, which, by the way, if you're taking notes, write this down. No one can intimidate me without my permission. The next time you're being intimidated, you're allowing yourself to be. As an expert, as a master, and loving what you do, don't allow a guest to intimidate you. Don't allow a guest to make you think they know more about you, about hair than you do, or more about beauty than you do. They don't. They're reading magazines. You're going to classes and taking Zooms. These hands have shampooed thousands of heads. When my neighbors say to me sometimes, how could you know that? I'm like, are you kidding me? Look at my hands. They've been in thousands of shampoo bowls. They've been on thousands of heads. You're going to tell me that you know shampoo better than I? Look, I know your hair better than you do, even though you've had your hair your whole life. That's my job. That's my purpose. That's my life. That's my career. I am a master. And when you say those kind of things, you eliminate the opportunity for that intimidation to occur. Okay, so stop and think about how well do you sell you? Maybe it's time to take a step back and get back to basics in, are you dressing to the kind of money you'd like to make? Something that simple. You don't need an incredible philosophy. Sometimes you need the simple things. Are you dressing up to the kind of money you'd like to make? That's a good start. Are you sounding like someone who's worthy of a $500 haircut? You could. You could sound like someone worthy of a $5 haircut, charge them $75 and tell them they got a $425 discount by coming to you. You could develop that kind of dialogue, those kinds of words. You could develop that kind of a relationship. This stuff isn't hard. You don't need to read 10 books. You don't need to go to 20 classes. You just need to put the thought inside your head that, okay, this is who I am and this is what I do. Some of you know, I share all the time. When I had an opportunity to work with my dear friend Yosh Toya, and Yosh Toya taught me the importance of giving 100%. And I said to him, Yosh, I do. I give 100%. He said, yeah, well, I guess everybody thinks they do. He said, here is what might differentiate you and me. He said, Geno, I give 100%, 100% of the time. Do you do that? Well, I looked at him like, what? How do you do that? I can't give 100% of the time. Who's got that kind of energy? Come on, you can't do that. And he said, no, it's easy. If you commit to giving 100%, 100% of the time. I have to tell you, I've been talking with Derek and James about tonight, probably for the last couple of months, looking forward to not only, my goodness, honestly, what an honor to get 5 texts, 5 emails from my friends saying we can't wait to see you. What an honor for Andrew and Derek and James to choose me, the greatest educator in the world, to celebrate their 2-year anniversary. I mean, how cool is that? You know, I knew I was great, but now I know I'm really great. See, something, I've crossed the line. Something has happened here that's just incredible. Am I making sense to you? I hope so, because you're deserving of a great life. You really are in the greatest industry that ever existed. Can you simply develop the habit of giving 100%, 100% of the time? I have to tell you that nothing tonight, nothing today got between me and my thought concept in regard to what's the best, most important information to share tonight on the Beauty Business Reset. What's the best thing to share with my brothers and sisters from my greatest industry in all the world? You know, you have to ponder on those things and think about them and work on them and prepare for them. But I can tell you, if you can develop the habit of giving 100%, 100% of the time, it will drastically change your life, your career, your income, your self-worth, your self-esteem. Now, I want you to get a book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I had an opportunity years ago. Of course, being a gambler, I love Las Vegas. And of course, we had a lot of great shows in Las Vegas, and I was a speaker there a lot. I went to Las Vegas, and I got to see an incredible event called Siegfried and Roy, the 2 guys with the lions and the tigers. And oh my God, I was just in awe. First of all, you know, isn't it funny? I sat I was probably in the second or third row because when you're a gambler, they put you right up front. It's pretty cool. But I sat there, and the first thing I thought of was my mom. And I said to my mother, Mommy, I hope you can see me right now, because she's been in heaven for many, many years or somewhere. And I said, I hope you can see me right now. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm in the second row. There's just a couple of people in front of me. I mean, look at this. Look what I've done. Look what I've become. Look where I am. I felt so proud. Well, then Siegfried came out and did this thing, and he made the lion disappear. It disappeared. Even the smell was gone. The smell of the lion. In the second row, you could smell the lion. It was gone. Well, it made me buy the video. And I brought the video home, and I said to my son, you've got to watch this. This guy makes a lion disappear. He says, well, that's not real. It's a trick. And the first thing I wanted to do was smack him a couple times and say, what do you think? I'm stupid? I know it's a trick. But can't you believe in the trick? You see, the reason I mentioned Get the Book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert is, if you don't believe in magic, then magic doesn't exist in your world. And if there's no magic, then what makes your world happy, fun, exciting? If you don't believe in giving 100% of the time, then there's no power behind you. If you don't believe in the power of inspiration, the fact that we can be inspired every day by who we talk to, who we hang out with, who we love, what we read and what we study. I mentioned to James, I actually texted him a couple of days ago and said, you have become like my number one friend. The reason he became my number one friend, that I meant to have it here, but I don't. James knows I'm a Beatles fanatic and sent me a beautiful Beatles poster with John and Paul and George and Ringo all getting their hair done by a hairdresser behind them over their heads. I can't wait to frame it and put it on my Beatles wall. And, I was laughing talking about my friend who played the guitar really well. I had one thing he didn't have. I brought him into my family room and I said, there's my Fender Stratocaster, signed, love, John Lennon. That got him for a minute. Shuts him down just for a minute. It was good.
The scary thing is, Geno told me the story where we got the guitar, and after we got off the phone, this is how I know your phones are listening to you. I get a message and it says, oh, here's something you might be interested in buying. And it was a picture of all four Beatles behind the scenes in their chairs from the movie A Hard Day's Night, with hairdressers all doing their hair. And I said, son of a gun, it's the coolest thing. That would be a perfect thing for Geno, but I should be really concerned about the security of my phone.
I agree. Well,
Great story.
Every night I have to say to Alexa, erase everything we talked about today. And hopefully she did, but come on, we're being watched, we're being listened to. But I'll tell you, James, you touched my heart. I mean, that was absolutely beautifully. I will never forget it as long as I live. And I can't wait to put it up and honor you every time I look at it. But you know what? That's a good place to finish. And that's this. Can we be better friends? Can we really support and encourage and grow and help each other? The 2-year anniversary of BBR, which set out 2 years ago today simply to help our industry be a better industry, to gain the knowledge that maybe we were lacking. Can we be better friends to each other? Can we let shit go that sometimes holds us back? Can we find a way to just push forward and be more and do more and have more and make more? And, I'm the first one to tell you, I mean, I've done so much wrong in my life. I've done so many things, but I have moved to a point where I don't regret them. I forgive those that rocked me, and I forgive myself for doing the same to others. And I try to move on from there. You see, it's very difficult to grow if you carry weight behind you. You have to get rid of it. And then you have to grow and you have to move on. And you have to make sure that you've surrounded yourself with a great support system and great friends. And I'm going to close with this because I've been closing now for the last 10 minutes. I'm going to close with this. Oh, I love that. Can't imagine not being a part of the BBR experience. I love that I can now, I've learned how to read the notes. Shit, this is so cool. I'm going to, oh, darn it. What was I going to close with? It was so good. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Thanks, Randy.
It's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come. I want to close with this. If we understand the importance of magic, and we understand the importance of belief and confidence and faith, then I want to suggest to all of you, redefine your confidence in yourself. Look at you in a new way and really take the time to develop that self-esteem and that self-worth that's going to propel you into someplace beautiful. Understand that there is inspiration everywhere. There really is, especially today. And all you have to do is seek it. You have to start each day looking for where will be my inspiration today. And might there be a day that there is none? Yes, that's human nature. But will you find inspiration most days? Of course you will. And you should never underestimate the power of inspiration, because that's what drives people to places they never imagined possible. Earlier, when I was talking about knowledge, did you know that Albert Einstein was a dumb kid in school, never did well? That when he tried to be a professor, the first 3 times he tried, he was shut down, that they said he was too much of an artist and not enough of a professor. And you know what? Maybe it's true, but the reality is we all have that inside of us. So I suggest you remove the fear, you remove the oldness, you remove the boredom, and you replace them with faith, confidence, and belief, with believing in magic again, with the understanding that every one of us can be Batman, like we were when we were 4 years old, and we thought we could fly. And you can fly, and this is your life, and you have the opportunity of a lifetime. And to top it all off, you're in the greatest giving industry that ever existed. Who could possibly ask for more? I want to just take a moment and say thank you all so much for your friendship, for your support, for your dedication. I want to thank you for the gifts. I love gifts and presents. Keep up the good work. Just, keep sending stuff over. Really makes me happy to see packages. I've become accustomed to Amazon. I'm like, didn't I get anything today? I better place an order and get something. Thank you all so much for a wonderful time tonight. And thanks for coming on early. That was my fault because I think some of you may have missed. I can't come on at 8 because by 8:30 I'm highly intoxicated. So tonight you got some really good stuff. If you can make it to the Art of Business next weekend, please come down. Thank you very much for all of your posts on the side of this thing, and I'll talk to you all soon. Happy anniversary. Cheers.
Geno.
Thank you.
Geno, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, if you are going to be with us in Atlantic City for the Art of Business, Geno, it is the year of the tiger, so Geno is going to be the keynote speaker. He's actually going to bring a tiger out. I can tell you, I know a lot about Geno over the last 2 years. I know that he is definitely not an expert at cutting hair, and I know he has zero knowledge of handling a tiger. So it could get really interesting. If you thought the Oscars were interesting last night, a slap in the face would be the best thing to happen to this tiger, because I feel bad for the poor guy. He might be one less arm coming out of this.
He read the book. He read the book. It's fine.
I'll study between now and the weekend.
Really, nose to the grindstone.
Thank you, Geno.
Thank you all.
Thanks everybody for showing up as usual, and we'll see you. What special night this week, James? Yes, Sunday.
Yeah,
right?
we have a lot. We're gonna see you guys. We'll be live from the event. Just a couple of snippets, hopefully, of some fun stuff. But we'll have a lot of great people that you guys have seen before. So Stephanie Fox, Nina Tullio, Jay Williams, our new friend Dan Gingas, who wrote a fantastic book about the experience that your clients have.
The customer experience. Yeah.
The customer experience, which is good. I'm reading his book now. I'm trying to get through it this week before I see him. But guys, we have lots of great content. We really wanted to do this for 30 days, to be honest with you. We were hoping that it was a 30-day, really impactful month-long window during COVID, and 119 episodes later, we're still here. So we're always happy to have you guys with us. And Geno, thank you for being our 2-year anniversary guest for sure. And my two brothers on the other sides of everything there, thank you so much, and always good to spend the last 2 years with you for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.